Hi you hustlers, welcome back to our channel. I'm Candy and I'm going to be talking you through our frugal life. We are starting a homestead from scratch, a bit of context around that. So we've left the corporate life, we're trying to escape the system as much as possible. We know it's not easy, we know it's not going to be completely possible to escape the system, but we have bought a house outright at auction, so we're mortgage free now and we are just building it up. We've got a 1/4 acre plot here and our main goal is to be as self-sufficient as possible. Now we've completely flipped the narrative. Those of you that have been around for a while will know what we're up to. Those that are new here, welcome to the channel and I hope you enjoy it. We're just sharing our life really, all the ups and downs that come with it. You know, we've relocated away from, about 3 hours away from our family and friends, and we're just trying something different. We just want to, we've always been a little bit different and we just want to live a different life. We want to get back to the earth, back to nature, get back on the land and be out in the countryside and just live a bit more slowly and with purpose, I think are the words. So thank you for joining me today. You know, when I showed you my new fence and everything last week, well, Storm Amy, mate, I think we only got the tail end of it, and we had to, because our new gates, they're all obviously screwed on and everything like that, but because we had to wait for the little pad of concrete for the bolts to go in, they were swinging like anything. So in the end we had to unhook them and take them off. So that was a little bit scary considering that was only the tail end, and I'm sure that we're going to get a lot more stronger winds and bad weather this winter, so that's something to look out for. But guys, I am so excited. It's a big day here on White Hustle Homestead. We are getting our first log delivery. Can you believe that? So we took a lot on board from our last winter prep video that we did a few videos back. We got so many bits of good feedback and good advice and some tips and tricks. I just wanted to say thank you for everyone that took the time to comment on that video. The main point that came out of that was really making sure that we're secured for the winter in terms of drafts and things like that. It is an old house. The windows are double glazed. Few of them are popped. There's a lot of drafts coming through some of them, and some of them definitely I can see need rebalancing or replacing or something. There's definitely stuff that needs doing. So there are lots of drafts that are coming through, but we took a tip that came up quite a lot. We went round, and it's common sense to everyone who's probably watching this, but to us, we've had so much going on that we're kind of, sometimes you focus on the bigger things and miss all the little things that need doing. So we've gone around all the windows. Well, we've still got a few more to do, but we're starting to seal underneath all the window sills where we noticed that was where a gap was coming in and there was a bit of draft. And we've sealed all round the windows as well. We're getting on with our caulking. We're doing a lot of sealing. We've also been up on the flat roof, which is above me here. And there was a tiny, tiny little hole in the, is it the cement, obviously in between the bricks. So there was a little hole, and that tiny little pinhole led to a tiny bit of water that used to always roll in on the windowsill up in the office. So we've filled that in on the outside. We've also sealed it on the inside as well, and touch wood, we've had some pretty big rainstorms since then and nothing is coming through. So it's really satisfying to do things yourself, and that's what we want to do. We want to learn, we want to get new skills, and we just want to be, like I say, as self-sufficient as we can. We're not going to be self-sufficient, don't get me wrong, like it's just impossible, I think. But as I've said many a time, the world is it's getting a scary place out there, and I don't really want to be a part of it anymore. So I'm just going to crack on and create our own little kingdom here. But that, I digress into all other things, so let's not worry about that now. The exciting thing today, we're getting a first log delivery. Now, I want to caveat that this is not a humongous delivery. We know this is not going to do us all through the winter. Now, remember, we've still got our electric radiators that we want to test out, so we'll be using them. So we're not going to go cold, let's put it that way. But over the coming years, we do want to start building up a proper log store. So in the winter, we'll be using the fire as our primary heat source. At the moment, we're just getting a small delivery because the reason why we're doing that is we're new to the area, one. Two, we're surrounded by farmers and agriculture and all the rural stuff that country life brings, and there are so many people that kind of do the logs and do log splitting service and do log deliveries and kiln dried logs and all that type of stuff. So we don't want to essentially put all our logs in one basket. So we don't know where best to, we've had a few recommendations from neighbours and stuff like that. We're looking for the best sort of price and the best quality of the logs. So we've ordered a builder's ton bag of logs to come, and I think that works out just over 1/4 ton if I'm right. Obviously they're not here yet, so we can't see them, but the customer service so far has been brilliant. We've had a bit of back and forth on messages. They're so polite, so friendly, and they are going to drop them off today for us. So we'll show you them when they arrive. I'm looking out into the back garden as I'm speaking to you now, and I'm realising that the log store needs to be emptied a little bit, so we'll crack on with that so we can get the logs in. I think they just dropped the logs in the front garden, and I'll obviously wheelbarrow them up. So we're going to leave the gates off until we've got the logs in, so it's much easier for us to get in with those logs. Still, I would say not cold enough for us to start using the log burner yet, which is a shame because it would be so cool. I really want to show you the log burner and our first time using it and do a review of it essentially, but it's quite a steady 17 degrees in here, and that might be cold to some people. I totally get that, but remember, I've said Kel and I don't really feel the cold that much. We've never been ones to feel the cold. We don't like a hot house. I know we're going to get there when we have the fire on, but it'd be a bit different if it's like snowing and gales and everything outside. But we're just not ready to put the log burner on yet, and we don't want to waste logs, quite frankly. So we've got just over 1/4 ton coming today. I've no idea how much that looks like. I've no idea what the quality of the log's going to be. I've no idea what they're going to feel like, but we've got the log store that we want to put some in. It's not going to fill it up, like I say, and I know we're going to need a lot more throughout the winter. So if we like this supplier, then once we start getting low on those, we'll get another lot in. And I know a lot of you have said don't get them in the winter because they're cheaper. It'll probably be a kind of high up on our agenda for next summer to start thinking about the logs, because we've had so much going on. We've not really been in a position to order logs throughout the summer because we were completely in the midst of a renovation and living in a van. So we're just getting ourselves settled and sorted so we can start thinking of the everyday things and not always project based. So now we've got the fence done outside, we've still got caulking and painting to do inside, but primarily I just wanted to jump on today and tell you thank you for all your hints and tips on our winter preps. We've got a lot more of that to come, and this is our first winter that we're going to be going through here, and yeah, we're going to see what it's like. We know it gets windy. I don't know how it's going to be, how cold it's going to be, how many logs we're going to use, how much electric we're going to use. But it's all a learning curve, right? And we're still at the start of this journey. We're so early on. We're complete newbies of not only living in the country, but living away from everything we know. I guess moving more rural, you get away from convenience. Stuff goes wrong and I can ring my dad straight away and he comes round, and we haven't got that. So not only for us, we want to, it is for us. We want to kind of be more self-sufficient in that way. When I say self-sufficient, I don't mean that we just want to grow all our own food and eat our food and not buy anywhere else. That isn't what self-sufficient means to me. Yes, we absolutely do want to have our garden full up with lovely fruit and veg that we're going to be able to utilise, and we're going to save money on food shopping. But being self-sufficient to me as well means learning new skills and not always having to rely on others. In an SHTF situation, it's only us that we can count on, and we've got to start thinking about that because we are away from everyone. But on the subject of my dad, I just mentioned there, the logs today, and I've mentioned before that Kel and I have been together almost 20 years. It's coming up to our 20th anniversary. So we've been together 20 years, we've been married almost 8 years. But my mum and dad have kindly gifted us this 1/4 ton of logs for our anniversary present. So, I mean, is that not the best homestead present you could ask for? And that is really us, and it's perfection. So thank you so much, mum and dad. We really appreciate it. So thank you. We're buzzing for this. So yeah, everyone, thank you for joining me again. today, just rambling on, showing you different bits about what we're doing on the homestead. And right, I'm going to head off and start doing some jobs around the house whilst I'm waiting for our logs to be delivered. But they should be delivered in a few hours, and when they arrive, I'll catch up with you then. Right, oh, that's the delivery in. Got my fire gloves as well, they can go on top. I don't think I've ever been as excited for this cold weather to start. How good is that? So we've got, you've seen the log store outside, we've got our indoor log store, little bag of kindling there. We've got kindling there. I just need to get the cobwebs out of this bad boy so we can use it. But are we proper country now or we're not, because we've only got one bag of big logs? I don't know. But it's all about the winter preps, and yes, we know that there's people out there that are ordering tons and tons and tons of logs. I've explained the reason why we've only just got that bag for now. That is going to do us for a little while for sure. I can't even test it because it's still so warm in here. It's like 17 degrees constant in this house, and that is perfectly fine for us, especially once you're up and about and moving and doing stuff. It's just not cool enough. The lady that dropped them off was saying as well how hot it gets. It can get like 30 plus degrees. So we're complete novices, we're complete newbies, and yes, I know that there's loads of people out there that have done this for years and they know what we're doing, and we're bound to make mistakes. However, it's a bit of a novelty to us at the moment. Can't wait to use the log burner. We've got all this new stuff. It's going to be amazing, but we know that this is just the start of our new way of life. I guess this winter it's not really going to be our primary source of heat, even though I've said that quite a bit. I mean, it's going to be a good chunk of it, don't get me wrong, but we're going to test these logs out once we start using it, and if they all burn fine and how they're meant to, then we'll be absolutely getting another couple of bags. That log store still got stuff at the back of it because we knew we wasn't getting the amount of logs needed to fill up the whole thing. So we'll just start using from our stock, obviously use the bit inside first, then we'll start bringing them inside, and then as and when over the winter, and it's not like we can't get hold of them, so this company that we've used, obviously they deliver all throughout the winter as well, so no doubt that we'll be getting some more. But this was it's just about little steps, and I wanted to make that clear as well, because I'm sure that there's going to be people in the comments saying that you ain't got enough, you need to do this, you need to do that. Chill. We know that there's not enough logs there to heat a whole house for a whole winter. We know it's going to get a hell of a lot colder. We are going to be getting more logs when we need them. For now, we're just taking baby steps into our new life. You know, we've gone through such huge transformational change this year. I've been quite open about that. It's pretty scary. There's a lot of stuff going on, and we're just taking one step at a time. And for us, getting a delivery of logs ready for the impending cold weather is massive. I know it's not massive for other people, but for us, it is. And I always endeavour to speak the truth, and we're following our narrative and our truth. So that is it for us, okay? So we'll obviously do a video once we use the log burner. I'd like to do a review on it. It's a Hunter log burner. I'll find out all the exact model and stuff like that, and we'll do a proper review of that when we first try it, and then it'll become a huge feature of our winter videos going for the foreseeable, I'm sure. But again, the gates have just gone back on as well, so now we can start concentrating on some of the outdoor work. The sun's still out, which makes it feel really warm. It's a nice feeling to know that there is so much more that we can do, but we are sitting here right now with no mortgage. We've got a decent stack of logs to keep us going for a tiny amount of time, and we've got a full pantry essentially. So we are pretty much prepped for us, the amount of time that we're still in the system and the amount of attachments we've still got to the system. This is a really good start for us, and I think I wanted to put it out there to people, you know, no matter how small, the little changes you're making, they're going to be humongous when this world goes tits, which is absolutely doing now. And I'm, stop the world, I want to get off, you know what I mean? So we just want to get a bit more self-contained. We're going to continue to share everything. And I know I might have just gone a bit down and deep and dark there. I don't want to be like that. I'm really positive about this and really negative. Really positive and really negative? That does not make sense, Kandy. I'm really positive about what we're doing and the steps that we're making to change our lives. And if we can do it, I've said this before, honestly, if we can make the changes that we've made, you can absolutely do it. I believe in you, because people believe in us and we believe in ourselves, and we're just doing it. I think that's the big part of it. You just got to do it. If you constantly think and overthink, there's so many obstacles that you can put in front of your brain. So just go for it, guys. But yeah, that's me over and out on this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Like I say, lots more to come on this homestead. We've done a lot of the home stuff. We're going to start on the steading stuff as well. A lot of exciting outdoor projects, even though it's not really the right time of year, but we're going to start cracking on and doing some of those bits. But we just really enjoy sharing all these bits with you, and we appreciate all the engagement as we go along. So hustlers, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will catch you on the next one.